Yeah, so the objectives are to ensure that the public is aware that you can report side effects. If you experience any side effect after taking a medicine, you can report to the MCAZ. Even if it's a suspected side effect, you don't have to be sure that it's a side effect. As long as you suspect that it's a side effect, then you can report, and you should report to the MCAZ. So to answer your question, I'll say we're receiving too few reports.
Okay.
So when clinical trials are conducted, I know I mentioned regulation of clinical trials as one of the functions of the MCAZ. So clinical trials is whereby a researcher is conducting research to find out more information about a medicine. So when this research is done, there are actually certain side effects that are known by the time the research is concluded.
Welcome to CoreHealth Dialogue, a program powered by Zim Capital Review. From the Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe, I have Mr. Liberty Chirinda. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Tendai. Thank you to the viewers and listeners.
I want you to kind of announce your portfolio, because it's quite hectic to pane zvimatangs zvinenge zvirimo mukati. So I want you to just, so that we ease into the program and the listeners can get to know what you do.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. It is quite a tongue twister.
Yes.
I'm from a department of the Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe. So the department is known as Pharmacovigilance and Clinical Trials Division. So I'll explain what this department does in a little while. But first, I'll just explain broadly what the Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe does.
Sure.
So the Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe, in short, some call it MCAZ or MCAZ. It is a statutory body established by an Act of Parliament, the Medicines and Allied Substances Control Act. And the mandate or the mission of MCAZ is to ensure access to safe, effective, and good quality medical products and allied substances for the protection of public and animal health. So in simple terms, we regulate medicines.
Okay.
Anything to do with the safety of medicines, the quality of medicines, the effectiveness of medicines, then we are more or less involved in that.
Okay.
So there are several departments at the MCAZ. I will not list all of them.
Pharmacovigilance.
Yes. So there are several divisions, like I indicated. I will not list all of them, but I'll just highlight in general what they do. So there's registration of medicines. For a medicine to be used in Zimbabwe, it has to be registered. So there's a department that evaluates and registers medicines if they are found to be appropriate. There's a department that licenses the premises as well as the persons who are responsible for any aspect of medicines, whether it's manufacturing, distribution, or selling. There's a department that looks at clinical trials. If you want to do research involving medicines in humans, you have to get approval. And there's a department where I come from, pharmacovigilance and clinical trials, like I indicated. So pharmacovigilance, what it means, in simple terms, is to monitor the safety of medicines.
Okay.
The medicines that we have on the market, they're already approved, they're already registered, but we continue to monitor them. Are there any safety issues that we may not have been aware of that we need to be on the lookout for? So in simple terms, that's what pharmacovigilance is.
Great stuff. I think at the end of the program, I'll be able to say pharmacovigilance properly. But now we are in the season of celebrating the Med Safety Week. As MCAZ, what does that mean for Zimbabwe, and what is it all about?
Yes, so Med Safety Week, it is an annual event. It's a global event, so it's not just Zimbabwe. It's an annual global event. And this year, there are more than 130 countries and partner organizations that are participating. So it's mainly a media event, social media, mainstream media event aimed at promoting awareness on medicine safety. So the theme for this year is it can be broken down into three aspects. To say you should report side effects of medicines to the MCAZ. We all have the power to make medicines safer. So you and me, we are involved. I think, to borrow from a common saying, in Inewet neighbors.
Yeah.
So we are all involved. It's not just the doctors or the pharmacists who have a responsibility to make medicine safer, but it's everyone, including the patient, including the person.
Okay. So, what are the objectives of this year's Med Safety Week, and how is it being celebrated within the country?
Yeah, so the objectives are to ensure that the public is aware that you can report side effects. If you experience any side effect after taking a medicine, you can report to the MCAZ. Even if it's a suspected side effect, you don't have to be sure that it's a side effect. As long as you suspect that it's a side effect, then you can report, and you should report to the MCAZ. And also the biggest objective is to ensure that everyone knows that they have a role to play. It's not just the healthcare professionals, but everyone has a role to play.
Okay, even in it's in a bus. Now, when you go broader and you want everyone else to know, what are some of the common things that people do that might put them in a place where they are not found as to be using their medicines safely?
Thank you. I think that is a very good question. The first thing is we should all be aware of our medicines, what our medicines do, what we take them for, what they are used for, how to take them. I can give an example. Pamwe ndinagogo wangu ari kumusha uko. All she knows is ndine mushonga we-BP wandinotora, or ndine mushonga we-sugar wandinotora. But she does not know the name of the medicine. She does not know the dose. If you are not able to know all those things, then there is a challenge in that you may not be able to know all the anticipated side effects. You might not be able to know exactly when or how to take the medicine. So all those things, it's crucial for patients to be able to know everything about their medicines, to be able to ask questions. When they go to the doctor, they are given their medicines. They should be able to ask the doctor, what is this medicine for? How will it help me in my condition? What should I know about the medicine? Are there any side effects that I can expect from this medicine? Are there any issues of concern that if I not could punish I take after I take this medicine, that I should contact the doctor, I should stop taking the medicine? So all that should be explained to the patient.
Okay.
Because you get a scenario whereby someone takes a medicine, they don't know what it contains, and maybe they can actually find out kuti kanzi ukatora mushonga unonzi ABC haufaniri kutorwa together with this particular substance, but they don't even know the medicine that they take. So they won't even know that that message is relevant to them. So it's crucial for someone to know how to take their medicines, when to take their medicines, even the correct route of administration.
Okay.
Not all medication is taken by mouth. Some is inhaled, like my inhaler, people with asthma. Some of it is inhaled, torwa by mouth. Some is injected. So there are different ways. So one should know all the different ways of taking. There are some people who open capsules, take out the powder, then they use it in a way which is different from the way it's intended. When it's actually intended to be taken by mouth within the capsule without opening the capsule. So it's important for patients to know how to take their medicines, what the medicines are, what they are used for, and the expected side effects, so that if they encounter anything, they know what to report, how to report. They know this is an emergency, I have to seek help if this occurs.
Okay. So in a nutshell, we are saying we need to empower the patients so that they are in a position to get from the healthcare professional what it is that they need to do with the medicines that they're given. You find scenarios where, like you said, Mbuya Varkurwara, and she gets to see a doctor. Apparently, sometimes Mbuya is in that drowsy state. Chiremba vanongonyora prescription, what these are your medicines. How do you, as MCAZ, speak to healthcare professionals to ensure that they totally and critically deliver to the patients how they need to take their medicines, why they're taking those medicines? Is there a code that you enforce so that at least they are oriented in a manner that ensures that they will use these medicines properly?
Yes, so we conduct various campaigns and initiatives, some aimed at the patients, others aimed at the healthcare professionals. So every year we conduct trainings, pharmacovigilance trainings in all the provinces of the country, where we raise awareness, we highlight the importance of monitoring side effects, we highlight the importance of reporting those side effects to MCAZ, and also the importance of informing patients of the important aspects of their medicines, the information that they should know about their medicines.
Okay.
And also, most medicines, if not all, come with a leaflet inside. Can be called a package insert or a patient information leaflet. That leaflet is actually meant to be read. There are experts that have actually worked together to come up with that leaflet because it contains important information. So that's another aspect that you actually look at the leaflet. Both the healthcare professional and the patients can look at the leaflet, read about the medicine, find out common side effects, the expected side effects, what not to do. Some medicines should not be taken with alcohol. Some medicines should not be taken with certain foods or fruits. Like there are certain medicines where you should not take grapefruit, for example, because there are certain interactions that are there. So this is actually listed in that leaflet in the medicines that people usually throw away, don't even take a second look at. So healthcare professionals, we encourage them to attend these trainings that we conduct every year, to read the package inserts, because this package inserts, they're also updated regularly. This package insert that was there in medicine 10 years ago might be different from the one that is there today, because the one that is there today is updated information based on information that we have, that we've collected over the years. And some of that information is actually collected from the patients who report to say, I took this particular medicine, I experienced this side effect. And maybe it was not known, so it's actually added to the package insert so that the medicines are safer. Future generations, they know what to expect from medicines, how to take them, what to avoid.
You've spoken about leaflets in those medicines, languages. I was at pains to announce pharmacovigilance, like you've just corrected me. I've noticed a lot of the language, a lot of the medical language is in its class of its own. Now, how do you unpack it in a manner that will enable me as a patient to be informed and empowered to know what it is that I'm taking? Because mostly it's written in that language of yours. I don't know if there's a way of making it more friendly to the eyes, so to speak.
Yes, thanks for highlighting that. So these days, the medicines that are being registered, they actually come with two leaflets. One is known as the professional information or product information, which is for the healthcare professional, which is in that language that you mentioned. But there's a second leaflet, which is now in simple English, layman's English, which is actually directed at the patient. It talks in a non-scientific manner, but in everyday language. It actually specifies how to take the medicine, what the medicine is for, and so on. So these days, all the medicines that are being registered, and those that were registered long back, they are also in the process of actually complying. So we have a process in our registration division known as re-registration, where after a certain period of time, you go through the registration process again. You submit information. So in this process now, we're trying to modernize everything. So now those patient information leaflets will also be included because they contain now language which is easily understandable by the person in the street, not necessarily the medical jargon that is there.
You've equipped the patient. Now you've equipped the healthcare professional. But there are occasions where things like adverse effects, side effects happen using whatever medicines that you're using. How can patients come out to speak about those issues? Are there remedies that they can and channels that they can use to ensure that they communicate to the authority?
So there are several ways in which patients can actually highlight these side effects. So, like I indicated earlier, you do not need to be sure that it's a side effect that you are experiencing. As long as it's an undesirable effect, unintended effect, and you've experienced it after taking a medicine, you can report. So there's a committee that is there, the MCAZ, known as the Pharmacovigilance and Clinical Trials Committee, whose role is to actually
That's your
look at
department.
yes,
Okay.
department.
Finally, I got it. Yeah.
So that committee is actually responsible for looking at those reports and then doing investigations, ascertaining whether that suspected side effect was caused by the medicine or not. So
Okay.
all you have to do is to suspect. It's enough to just suspect.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be sure whether it's the medicine that caused it or not. And when you suspect, there are various ways you can use to report. One, you can go back to the healthcare professional. You can go back to the doctor or to the pharmacy where you call the medicine. You can inform them. There are forms that they can complete and send to MCAZ. You can also send the report directly to MCAZ. It's also possible. So there are paper forms that can be completed. There are, you can send an email to MCAZ. You can pick up the phone. You can call. You can send a WhatsApp message. So there are various ways. There are also applications that you can install on your phone where you can submit the side effect to the MCAZ. So we also have toll-free numbers. If you don't have airtime, you can still call.
Okay.
If you are on Tel 1, your landline, or you're on Econet, there are toll-free numbers. And I think we can give you the numbers later on in the program that you can call. So all these ways, you can even walk in to our premises at 106 Baines Avenue.
Okay.
And you talk to someone, they can help you to complete the form. So
Okay.
all these are various methods, and one can just choose which method is most convenient for them. If you want an application on your phone, you want to go to our website. So all these methods you can use to submit a report.
Okay. Now, just out of interest, you clearly are coming from that department. Statistically, how many cases are reported for these side effects, and how, what's the turnaround time to deal with them and so forth? What's the prevalence in Zimbabwe?
So to answer your question, I'll say we're receiving too few reports.
Okay.
So when clinical trials are conducted, I know I mentioned regulation of clinical trials as one of the functions of the MCAZ. So clinical trials is whereby a researcher is conducting research to find out more information about a medicine. So when this research is done, there are actually certain side effects that are known by the time the research is concluded. To say, this one can cause vomiting, this one can cause a rash, it may cause drowsiness, and so on. And even the frequency can actually be determined at that point for some of the side effects. So you might know, for example, that this particular medicine, you expect 1 in every 1,000 people to experience dizziness. Then if you give it to 1 million people, so you expect 1,000 reports of dizziness. But you might find maybe 1 report of dizziness the entire year. So we know for sure that we are receiving too few reports. We are receiving much fewer reports than what we would expect. We work with different stakeholders, Ministry of Health and Childcare, public health sector, private sector. And I can say that there are certain programs where the awareness campaigns have taken effect and we tend to receive more reports. For example, for immunizations, we have under the Ministry of Health and Childcare, the expanded program on immunization, where you have children from 0 to about 9-10 years being vaccinated free of charge by the government. Because there's been awareness campaigns throughout the years where people take their children out to baby clinic. Because of that awareness, tend to get a bit more reports in those programs. Also, the HIV and TB program, because of that awareness, I think in the media, since the late 80s or early 90s, I think there's been a huge campaign educating people about HIV and so on. So we tend to get more reports from those public health programs, but still they are fewer than what we actually expect, and we encourage more reports to come
Okay.
reports from healthcare professionals, reports directly from the patients themselves.
Okay. So are you saying vana havasi kufungidzira, because you said suspecting, kufungidzira kuti mishonga iyi pamwe ndo yaita kuti vave nemaside effects wavo, or vanhu havasati vanyatsoziva kuti vane mikana yokuti vanokwanisa kutsanangura kuti aiwa, pamakanipa mushonga uyu ndaitarisira kuti ndichange ndakunzwa so, asi ndakazopedzisira ndakunzwa so.
Yes, from some of the surveys that we've conducted and other feedback that we've received, kune vamwe vanenge vachiti ndandisingazvizivi kuti I can report. Kuti anotofungidzira kuti zvandiri kunzwa izvi, I think mushonga waya wandakapiwa, but hazvizivi kuti they can report. Some tell each other kuti ndokushanda kwawo mushonga iwoyo, ukatonzwa uchitodaro, some people can get diarrhea. And then they tell their colleagues or their neighbors, ndokutoshanda kwawo, rotocleaner system. And people then tend to believe that there's nothing wrong, there's nothing to report, because that's how it's supposed to be. Then there are others who know kuti they can report, but maybe they feel kuti it's a laborious process. Kuti ndimbotsvaga form, ndombofila, then ndozoenda naro kuna Baines, or maybe that person is in Cholocho, vofunga kuti kuzoti rizoenda kuHarare. So that's why we're also coming up with the different methods, which you can use your WhatsApp, you can use your email, your phone, so that we have more ways to report, so that it's more convenient for people.
Okay. So, like you said, ini newe tinebasa. And as I'm seeing, as we're having this conversation, this dialogue, there is also need to rope in other players, other organizations. We'll probably have platforms that you can use to leverage and reach out to the general populations. How have you been collaborating with other organizations in this fight?
Yes, so we've been collaborating with various stakeholders. I think I alluded to some of them earlier. Locally, we work with the Ministry of Health and Child Care. So I think our organization, I said, it was established by an Act of Parliament. And this is through the Ministry of Health and Child Care. Yeah. So we're an entity that is under the Ministry of Health and Child Care. So we work closely with the various departments and programs under the ministry. I indicated the HIV and TB program, the malaria program, the vaccinations under the EPI program. We also work with the private sector as well. Regionally, we also work with regional initiatives with other countries, and even globally. There are certain initiatives coordinated by the World Health Organization, and we are part of also what is known as the WHO program on international drug monitoring. We've been a part of that program since 1998. And as part of that program, we actually share resources, we share information. So, for example, if a medicine is found to cause certain side effects in Argentina, we do not need to wait for people in Zimbabwe to also experience that side effect. Okay. We can actually find out from our colleagues in Argentina to say what exactly happened, what's the name of the medicine, how did they take it, what happened, and they can actually find out that this medicine, maybe it can cause this, this, and that if it's taken in this way. And we can actually then revise the labeling or to stop the medicine coming to Zimbabwe, depending on the scenario. Some cases we actually ban the medicine because we found information from another country. At times, you don't need to ban the medicine, but maybe to change how it's used. Maybe you find out it shouldn't be taken by people under the age of 12. Maybe it shouldn't be taken by people with high blood pressure or pregnant people. So you can find out that from all these collaborations that we do. So we share information, we share resources, and in those collaborations, there are also initiatives in Africa. Currently, we have initiatives in Southern Africa. There's one known as Zazibona in Southern Africa. Also on the continental levels, like recently, we have the establishment of the African Medicines Agency. So we work together with all these different organizations, parties, and collaborations.
Okay, interesting. You seem to have quite a collaborative effort in getting that done. I just want to zero in on coming back to the issue of side effects. I'm diagnosed to take a number of pills. Probably I'm supposed to be taking probably 10 in a day. How do you, as MCAZ, speak to patients to be enabled to be empowered so that they know that the multiple medications that they are taking them rightly, and they are taking them timely, and they are in a space where they would avoid kind of getting those side effects and interactions between those medicines.
Yes. So in the scenario that you gave, it's actually quite common to have people taking multiple medicines at the same time.
Yeah.
And it is important, I think, like I highlighted earlier, it is important for a person to know the medicines that they're taking. For example, let's say in diabetes, or commonly known as sugar. I have high blood pressure. Maybe I have problems with my heart and my kidneys. So I end up getting a long list of medicines that I have to take. So it comes back to that point I mentioned earlier. You should know your medicines. It's important to know this medicine is for my kidneys. This one is for my high blood pressure. This one is for that. This one is for that. So, for example, people who are with diabetes, it's actually encouraged that they test their blood sugar levels regularly. And if you can afford it, it's actually recommended to have your own machine where you test your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and even for blood pressure, where you test your own blood pressure. So, if you know that this medicine is for high blood pressure and you are checking your blood pressure, maybe you find out that it's too low or it's too high, you can actually go back to the doctor to say, I've been measuring my blood pressure. I find out it's too low or it's too high. So if you don't know what the medicine is for, you might not even know. Let's say you forget to take a particular medicine from your long list, and then your blood pressure goes up. If you know that that one is for blood pressure and you've forgotten it, then you can actually figure out, it's because I forgot to take my medication. But if you were taking it and it still goes up, then you know it's not because you've skipped your medicine. So it's important to know the medicine. It's important to know the side effects, what to expect. These side effects are known, they have occurred in others, but there may be others that are unknown. So if you experience them, you highlight to your doctor. And if you are taking multiple medicines, some of them interact. The medicine that you are taking for your kidneys might interact with the one for your blood pressure. It might cause your blood pressure to go very low or very high.
Yeah.
So it's important to know all that. So it goes back to that point. You should know your medicines, and you should ask your healthcare professional when you are getting your medicines, what is this for? How do I take it? That should be taken correctly. There are some medicines that should be taken when symptoms appear. There are other medicines that you should take at specified durations regardless of symptoms.
Yeah.
So it's important to know the distinction between all these medicines. So it goes back to the leaflet that we mentioned, talking to your healthcare professional, understanding what the medicine is for, how it is taken, knowing the expected side effects, knowing when to seek help, when to be concerned, when to be worried.
Okay. So we are in this med safety week, and I want to kind of put you on the spot and ask you a general question, which I think is quite topical regarding to medicines per se. You've got these regulated medicines that you guys regulate. Then we've got mishonga yedu isusu yatinomwawo, anandorani, guchu, and things like that. Are you addressing those issues as well as MCAS to the general public, so that they can also get an appreciation of your standing, and they can also get to administer those medicines in a proper way, such that we don't then get to have side effects? Because so you can help us.
Yes, that is a very important question. So the reason why the MCAZ was established is to actually have oversight pamishonga inoshandiswa muZimbabwe, so that we actually get to assess those medicines. But are they safe? are they effective? Anotoshanda zvaari kunzi anoshanda here? Are they of good quality? Haakuvadzi vanhu here? So having been established with that mandate, so the MCAZ licenses premises. I think I mentioned that earlier, one of the departments. Premises, they have to meet certain criteria to appeal a license. Yes, you can sell medicines because you've met this criteria. The medicines themselves, they have to be registered. They have to meet certain criteria. So if you are buying medicines from the streets, from buses, from flea markets, from hair salons, and all those other unregulated or unapproved premises, it means the medicines that you are buying, most likely, no one has assessed them. Sure, are they safe? Sure, do they do what they're supposed to do? The person selling those medicines, and when they don't have adequate information to actually tell you what you need to know about the medicine, or even to distinguish whether this medicine is actually safe, it's genuine. So it is very risky to do that. Imagine going to buy a car from a manufacturer who has never been assessed by anyone. Or maybe let me say an aeroplane, right? In a plane. Maybe if I say a car, people say car, I will take my chances.
Okay.
The company has never been assessed by anyone. You don't know who manufactured
the risk is big.
And even the pilot wacho ana license. Imagine the risk. So the same thing with medicines. These are things that we take into our bodies.
Okay.
You should at least have that assurance to say someone who is competent has looked at this medicine. So buying medicines from the street, you are putting your life at risk, putting the nation at risk.
Okay.
So it's better to buy from regulated premises, licensed premises. And these premises, they are inspected regularly to ensure that they continue to comply.
Okay.
And for those who have medicines that they want to sell, be it complementary medicines where you also have your herbal medicines, you can actually apply to the MCAZ to have your medicine registered. If you're confident that your medicine works, you can have the evidence. And MCAZ can assess. They can actually tell that this is a herbal medicine, we've assessed it, it's safe, it's of good quality, and it can actually be registered as a complementary medicine.
Okay.
It's those who do not have evidence that are afraid of registering their medicines, who then sell their medicines in undesignated places.
Okay.
So I'd like to encourage the general population, the whole of Zimbabwe, to buy medicines from approved premises, buy medicines from proper premises, the pharmacies, the hospitals, and not from the streets, not from buses, not from hair salons and all the other places.
Okay. You were quite spot on in saying that kana uchiziva kuti mutombo wako unoshanda uya tiutest tibve tataura kuti aiwa uyu unoshanda zveshuwa. Do you get a lot of people who have that kind of calling to come up and say ndawana gwenzi iri rinobatsira zvakati, ndawana gwenzi iri rinobatsira zvakati, so that they can be regulated? Or do we need to work on a platform that can bridge that sort of gap, which empowers them to also come through and say, look, I found this, Eureka, this works for that, I found this works for that, and then there's that whole collaboration? Because I feel in a way there's a whole demographic that is out there that is still using mishonga iyoyo zvichitovabatsira, but havana kuwana the right way of coming to you guys, getting it tested and so forth. But it's good, yes, there's a risk, like you said,
Yes, that's a very important aspect that you bring up. So I think there is need actually for more collaboration, more awareness in this area. And when the medicines are then registered, for one to have their medicine registered, there are certain criteria that the medicine has to fulfill, and there are certain steps that the applicant has to take. One of them is the clinical trials, the research that I mentioned. It's not enough to just say nemuromo kuti ndakaupa munhu akapora. You need scientific evidence. So that scientific evidence, now you have to go through certain processes where you conduct certain tests. you start with preclinical trials before you even give it to humans. Tests that you can do in the lab and so on. Then you move on to clinical trials where you do the research in humans. So there's actually need for collaboration.
Okay.
So there may be people who have certain herbal medicines that they know to work or that they want to prove they work. They can collaborate with researchers. They are experienced researchers who are there, who know how to conduct the research. So they can actually collaborate in this field. Uyane gwenzi rake, uyanoziva the scientific processes anoda kuitwa kuita the research yacho. Then they do the research, they generate the evidence, then they register with MCAZ. So there are those steps, and I think, like you said, there is need for that collaboration, for that awareness, so that you then have all that information out there.
Okay. Let's talk innovation and as MCAZ, what have you done or what are you doing, which is like ensuring that people get in tune with safety, they are in tune with what you guys are giving them, and the whole of Zimbabwe is singing the same song. How have you innovated in this digital era to ensure that you've got people and people know of MCAZ?
So innovation and continuous improvement, they're actually some of our core values as MCAZ. And one of the innovators, there are so many innovations, but I'll just highlight one that centers on reporting of side effects, monitoring patient safety of medicines. We are actually working with some of our donor partners to come up with a chatbot, a WhatsApp chatbot, as well as a USSD, where you can just take your phone. If you don't have a smartphone, star chakadero hash, you can actually get to find out information about medicine, submit any side effects that you have. Or if you have a smartphone, you have WhatsApp, you can just send hi to a WhatsApp number, the MCAZ WhatsApp number. Then you get prompts to say, how can we help you? Do you want to report a side effect? And you can actually interact with that chatbot on WhatsApp, and you can actually get to submit your report. So that is something that we are working on, and by the end of this year, I think it should be operational.
Interesting. Leaving no place and no one behind. Murgendra nemtemo ne mantra yeurumende. So we want to applaud that. I would want you to come when it's up so that at least we can get to tell the nation that the innovation is ticked and things are going on well. I want us to wrap up our conversation. And I want to put it to you or to ask you how the general public can get to interact with MCAZ. Where can we find you, and so forth?
Okay. Thank you so much. So our physical address, it's 106 Paynes Avenue in Harare. So one can just walk in during business hours, and you can actually get assistance from the different people in the different departments. So that's our address, 106 Paynes Avenue in Harare. We have a website for those who have access to the internet, who are tech savvy, www.mcaz.co.zw. If you want to send an email, mcaz@mcaz.co.zw. If you want to phone, you can phone on 0772 145 191 up to 3. So that's 0772 145 191 up to 3.
Can you one more time?
Yes, 0772 145 191 up to 3. So it's 191, 192, 193. So I'll not list all the telephone numbers. I think there are several of them. I'll just list the toll-free numbers. So we have toll-free numbers that I mentioned earlier. So we have toll-free numbers if you're using your Tel 1 landline. So Tel 1, that's 0800 4507. 0800 4507. If you're on Econet, the toll-free number is 0808 0641. 0808 0641. And I think I'll also mention our WhatsApp number, which by the end of year we'll also support the chatbot that I mentioned.
Okay.
For now, we'll be talking directly to a human being. It's 0718 855 934. So our WhatsApp number again, 0718 855 934. And finally, I'll just highlight our social media. We are there on social media. We are there on X. We are there on Facebook. We are there on Instagram. We are there on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So for all of these, if you just search MCAZ official on all these social media platforms that I mentioned, you will be able to communicate with us.
I like the fact that you take your time to come to the studio and you've got all these platforms where people can get in touch with you, which is quite empowering. However, in this devolution era, I notice we only have one office in Harare. Are there plans to set up other offices in different provinces so that at least...
That's a very good question. So, like I indicated earlier, we work with various stakeholders. So we might not have a physical presence all over the country, but we work with organizations, with partners who are there physically. So in different clinics and hospitals all over the country, they have information, they have forms that we have, and we also have teams that actually travel inspections all over the country, all the pharmacies, the hospitals. We do have teams that are available all over the country. And in this digital era, we also try to actually maximize on our presence online, whether it's social media, whether it's on email or website, where you can have access to our services at the tip of your fingertips. Whether you are in Cholocho, whether you're in Malipati, you can have access. Whether you have a smartphone or you don't have a smartphone, you should be able to have access.
Okay. Just in parting, I want you to see that I've caught on to what you were saying and I've learned something. The big word is pharmacovigilance.
Yes.
Pharmacovigilance. Oh, I got it.
Yes, that's correct. I know at least one person has got the message.
Thank you so much, Liberty, for joining us on the program. This has been CoreHealth Dialogue. My name is Terence. We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.